weak men create hard times. And Asmongold has decided to be on the side of government overreach, government censorship, and the erosion of your God given rights. Now, I wish I could say that this is the first time that Asmongold says something like that, but it's not. Some of you may already know that I'm not the biggest fan of Asmongold. I think a lot of his positions, if you can even call them positions in a lot of cases, are poorly, if at all, thought through. And in a lot of cases, he contradicts himself. But still, I am a fair person. I am extremely fair. I am one of the fairest people out there. I'm not gonna needlessly bash Asmongold for absolutely no reason. I will not make fun of him or anything like that. And if he says something that I agree on, I will just flat out say it. Because there is no reason for me to lie. But now, Asmongold is on the side of governments telling what you can and can't do on the internet through a government issued ID to access different places. And he's just completely being like, yeah, this is gonna happen. And this is something that you will honestly see a lot with Asmongold. The moment it's a choice for him between, oh, my life gets a little bit easier or safer, but I have to give up my rights and the rights of others, he obviously instantaneously will choose up to give the rights of others. Because you always can get them back, right? There's been so many cases when you give away your rights to the government and you just magically get them back later on. No, no. This is a one-way street, and he's fully playing ball.
Reality is, I think, and this is the truth. Okay, you might not like this, you might not want to hear it, but if you're realistic and you take your fucking idealism cap off just for a second, you're gonna realize this is true. We're gonna have real
Yes, viewer, stop being an idiot. Great.
ID on the internet. It's gonna happen. You might not like it. I don't necessarily like it, but it's gonna happen. And it's not gonna be in 20 years. It probably won't even be in 10 years. It'll probably be sooner than that. And I wouldn't be surprised if things keep going the way that I think they are, that it happens even sooner than that. We're having this happen with social media. You had Spotify and you had YouTube too. And YouTube and Spotify are asking for your IDs now to make sure that you're not underage. And they have an AI checking system. So if you say it's lit or on God, you instantly get sent to YouTube Kids, which honestly, I kind of think that's doing everybody a favor, right? But the reality is that
yeah, so the message is pretty clear. Accept that it's already happened. Why are you trying to fight it? This is fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no.
YouTube and Spotify shouldn't be the ones that are doing this. They should not be the ones handling your driver's licenses. They shouldn't be the ones handling your personal information.
Oh, but who then, Asmond? Who should be doing this?
How'd that go with the T app, by the way? So in case anybody doesn't know, the T app was an app made for fat, ugly, middle-aged women to post pictures and henpeck men who didn't call them back after the first date because of the obvious reasons. And guess what happened? Well, in the most pristine and pure version of karma possible, all of these women who had their information, or sorry, were putting out their information to, basically like posting the public information of these men against or without their consent, had all of their public information and private information leaked completely to the public. And now you saw the pictures of all the people, and man, oh my God.
It's pretty ugly.
Like, stereotypes exist sometimes for a reason.
They always exist for a reason.
And so anyway, this happened, and I'm not going to say it's a hack, because there was no security, there was nothing. The guy that was running this this app, apparently...
By the way, keep in mind, this is the guy who is unironically going to tell you that the government cannot do anything properly. The guy who fully, by the way, believes, and I have never seen him contradict his statements on this. The guy who fully believes that the government is a bunch of idiots that cannot do anything properly thinks that the government is now going to do a better job than these private firms. And by the way, I'm not defending the private firms. We can just not do this. It's as simple as that. We can just be against that. If the price to pay to not have, not needing to show your IDs to log into Facebook is that some kind of 15-year-old girl goes on Instagram and thinks that, wow, she needs to look like Kim Kardashian and she gets mental issues for that. So be it. That's the price and I'm pretty sure most people are absolutely willing to pay.
I heard that after he gets done running this app, Sony's going to hire him for their privacy division. So that's pretty much where we're at now. And I don't want to have YouTube get hacked. I don't want to have Spotify get hacked. The reality is that we need some degree of authentication token, verification, or some sort of third-party thing that verifies.
Why? Don't know. Not sure, actually. Who knows? Who knows? Why is this needed in the first place? I don't know. Why can't we just live how we have lived for the past, I don't know how many years of the internet? Not sure. Neither is he.
That maybe you are an adult or you are an actual person, you are above this age, but it does not provide that information to the end user or the end company that's actually trying to verify this. We need a validation token system. And if we don't have this, and I know people...
By the way, he has no idea what a validation token system is. This is just something Elon Musk tweeted at him, which was the obvious counter to his point. And Asmongold was like, "Oh yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, this is the obvious thing you should have thought the moment that you even considered this." A lot of virtue signaling.
Might say, no, we're not going to have any of this. It's bad. Yeah, you're going to get it, okay? It's going to happen. You can get mad at me.
Yeah, eat the slop.
All you want, but just wait and see. So I think we need...
Yeah, just don't do anything. Just succumb to this. You know, what? Why try anything?
A validation system. We need a way that has actual accountability to make sure that people just don't get their shit leaked when one of these accounts or one of these websites gets leaked. Anything can get hacked, but I would much rather put my trust in some part of like third party like security system or something like that rather than a T app or something like that that's just basically...
By the way, when he says this, I'm pretty sure he should be saying the government. I don't know why maybe he just doesn't want to say the word government, but a third-party site is already the T-app. And also, if the T-app lost your information, why are you assuming that some kind of third party is not going to do it? Sites get hacked literally every single day. Why do you assume... Why... He's advocating, literally here, for a government-run agency that holds all of this information and verifies it for third-party users, aka the T-app and Facebook and all of that. But why can't they be hacked? Why can't they have an information leak? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is the same type of situation where Asmongold is going to say that, oh, the government... The big companies in America are leeches that eat off of society, but whenever a Luigi situation happens, he instantaneously starts shaking and is like, that could have been me. And then it's bad. These contradictions just kind of happen non-stop. It's truly, truly amazing. And I waited a little bit to speak about this, but a lot of people... I'm not sure if people just watch Asmongold stream and then don't pay attention to what he says, or maybe it's just people who are watching from YouTube. I'm not sure which one it is, but people think that this guy, a lot of people seem to think that this guy is like on the side of consumers and shit. He's not. He literally is against the Second Amendment in America. You know, the one that allows you to have guns, because he's afraid of guns. He has literally been on stream and said, no one should own guns in America. They're dangerous. And when asked, well, can I own a gun for self-defense? He's like, maybe a handgun with one mag or something like that. That was his answer. AKA, very American. The Constitution is just like a suggestion in general. Free speech. He's blatantly against free speech, and you know what's the funniest part? He doesn't even understand why he's against it. So Asmongold doesn't understand the difference between free speech and free speech absolutism. He thinks he wants curated and regulated speech, aka, you not being allowed to say a bunch of things because they're bad. But free speech already accounts for that, and he's acting like it doesn't. Free speech doesn't allow you to just, dox people for nothing and shit like that. All of that is already punishable. But Asmongold acts like it's not, so he doesn't like free speech. I really think he just has no idea what's the difference between free speech and free speech absolutism. Free speech absolutism is where you can literally just dox someone and blatantly lie about them, and there are no consequences to that. But most people are not for that. It's it's a lot of insanity here. I never understood this. Is this just being poorly informed? Is this just the second coming of another clip of him saying that Americans cannot own 50 cal weaponry because obviously the Second Amendment prohibits it? That's also, by the way, a sentence that he has said unironically. It's just so strange. This is just how am I supposed to reconcile any of this, honestly?
Outsourcing its security to squirrels. And so anyway, that's not true. Squirrels are really good at hiding nuts. This person didn't even do that. But anyway, I was just thinking about this. The fact is that, yes, this is where things are going, and the internet is doing this. Why is this happening? It's not happening to protect the kids. It's happening to protect the people and the companies that are in power to make sure that narratives go unchallenged.
Yeah, so how about we just are not for this in general? How about that? Sounds pretty good, huh? Why must we just accept this?
And if you don't, the thing is, like, I don't even have to make a 1984 analogy because we can just make a 2020 analogy. Look at what happened with COVID. Do you even for a second think that's not what's happening? Of course it is. It's happening right in front of us because it just got done happening. And do you really think that all the people are like, the censorship game's up? Well, I guess it's time to go home and let's have.
He never said anything bad against the anti thing, by the way, if you're wondering. So I don't know.
Everybody have freedom of speech now. No, they're planning their next method and their next move. And guess what? They just showed us our side of the board, their side of the board. This is what's happening right now. And I'm very concerned about this because I don't want to see the internet siloed away. I think that one of the best and most enriching things about the internet is the fact that everybody in the whole world can go on and talk with each other, basically. It's something that expands people.
So why would you support it? Why would you say just accept this? Why would you say this is fine? Why would you say just live with it?
Horizons. I think it both creates and also gets rid of xenophobia, and I think that the truth is that it gets rid of it a lot faster than it makes it. I think that if you can just talk to
xenophobia,
somebody from another country, from another place, you just have a straight up conversation with them. It's a lot easier than hearing what the media is trying to make you think this country is like. And I feel like there's been a lot of cultural understanding that the internet has created that weirdos and people that have agendas never like to acknowledge. I've been more enriched in my ability to understand the rest of the world because of the internet than anything else ever. And I would hate to see that not be an option for other people in the future, but
that's disgusting.
It sure seems like things are going that way. I think the real problem here, by the way, isn't with companies doing this, okay? The companies are just pulling the trigger. You should look at the person who's loading the gun and who made the gun. And that person, that's the government. And so the fact is, in telling them to pull the trigger, the fact is that these companies are not doing this because they want to do it. They're doing it because they're afraid of not doing it. So what we need to be more...
Wait, didn't you... You see, this is what I mean. 2 minutes ago, he literally said that these companies want to do this, and now he's saying the companies are afraid to not do this, otherwise it's gonna be... But shouldn't... Wait, I'm sorry. Were the companies... Did you just say the companies wanted to do this because it's a benefit for them? Yeah, YouTube, I didn't do anything. There's ad there. That was just show and tell.
Vigilant of and more there needs to be more advocacy of is number one, privacy laws. I think that if a judge issues a subpoena and a person is doing something and there's reasonable cause and there's evidence and everything, I think of course their information should be turned over to the government. Like, duh. I mean, of course, that's the way anything is. That's the way it is now. But the truth is that I don't want to have the government that just has, they can just read what you're doing on the internet all of the time. And unfortunately, it seems like that's where we're at. And I understand the
Yeah, I don't know if he has heard of this neat little thing called NSA.
oh, if you've got nothing to, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. Yeah, definitely. Well, what happens whenever they change what to hide? That's the issue. And I think that's where everybody else is at too. I don't want to have my internet be controlled by the 20 most annoying Karens that are either in Collective Shout, that are in the T app, or that are in Congress. Or I don't want to have them controlled by the 20 most powerful companies that are basically pulling the strings for a lot of these types of regulations. I am very concerned about this, and I think that you should be too. I think there's an honest and genuine conversation to be had about which content is appropriate for children and which is not, and how social media should regulate itself and how social media should be regulated. But we are going a lot farther than that, and we're talking about the entire internet and websites wholesale. This is censorship. This is going to go too far. This is not for kids. This is for adults to prevent them from doing and saying things and organizing in ways that put the powers that are making these rules at risk. That's what's happening. And I understand I might sound like a crazy person, but after everything that happened during COVID, I can't see a single one of you guys disagreeing. And so anyway, while real
How are you sounding like a crazy person if you think everyone is gonna agree? But anyway, not a lot of talk about the fact that the government needs. I just don't get this. Like, the start of the video is, we must accept this because it's happening. Do we like it or not? And now he's talking about, yeah, you kind of need to accept this, but it's gonna be bad. Don't hate me, hate the game. What the fuck? I'm so confused. What is the point of this video even?
idea I think is inevitable. What isn't inevitable is the fact that these companies have to be the ones running it. They should not be the ones running it. I do not trust these companies.
So there we go. Now he's going to talk about the government needing to do this.
I don't trust the government either, but I don't trust the companies at all, and I just don't trust the government. And the fact is that, like, the government got rid of, at least in America.
Okay, there we go. He got... That was such a useless tirade.
Slavery in 1865. Private companies still have...
Wait, we're back to slavery? Holy based.
Right now. So I think that pretty much gives you a barometer on which one is better than the other, which one has a little bit more accountability. But again, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So that's what I think...
But you must accept that the bottom of the barrel is happening, my sweet dear goy.
We need to be looking at. We need to be looking at proactive, real ID implementations that do not actually put people's data at risk.
Wait, what the fuck was this? Wait. So now he starts off this video about the fact that this is inevitable, it's gonna happen. Then he goes on a little bit of a tirade about how this is bad, this is overreach, this is censorship. Yeah, we know. And now he's like, okay, the censorship should be done by the government because I like the government more. What? It almost feels like these are two separate videos spliced together.
By the company being able to have that data on hand. You saw that with the T app. And again, I know there's going to be people that are against me on this because you're going to say, well, I don't want to have this at all.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's going to
Yeah, just eat the slop. It's going to happen.
I cannot see a universe where it doesn't happen. If you drive around with a car, you've got to have a license plate. You've got to present ID with 1,000 other things in the world. Do you really think that...
Do Americans actually have to present ID? If that's a thing, I'm pretty sure America is like the only place in the world where you need to present an ID at this point. Everyone else just... In my country, I don't need to have my driver's license on me at any time for anything, I feel like. That's so strange.
We're going to live in a world where the internet stays like it was in 2007 forever. Of course not. And I'm worried about that because there are some great things about that. There were some not so great things, but I'll be honest, the people that are trying to control to get rid of the not so great things, they're also doing that as a massive Trojan horse to censor and control discourse on the internet and to have a effect.
Yeah, but that's the government also. The people. Okay, listen. He's not even addressing the point that if the government is gonna be the ones that govern over, are you allowed to go on which site? I mean, they can just choose at any point to not allow you to have access to something if they feel like it. This is no different than centralized currency to a degree. It has all the same negatives, if not more, honestly.
Lever that they can pull in the future if they need to shut down a certain type of conversation. You're already seeing this in the UK, which right now is one of the worst Western offenders.
The UK is a shithole. No one cares.
And I think that entire ideology is going to be exported to the rest of the West and the rest of the.
So why are you just accepting it and telling us that yeah, we need this is happening? Upset. Why? It makes no sense. Anyway, that was Asmongold. 0 out of 10. Bye.